My friends, we live in a world full of noise, full of chaos, full of opinions, full of distractions. Every day brings with it new reasons to worry, new reasons to be angry, new reasons to give in to fear. And yet, there is a way to rise above it all. There is a way to walk through the storm with your head held high. There is a way to smile through pain, to hold your peace when all around you is trembling. That way, dear friends, is to learn to act as if nothing bothers you. Now, I'm not talking about denial. I'm not telling you to ignore reality or to pretend that life doesn't hurt sometimes. What I'm saying is this: you don't have to let what's on the outside control what's happening on the inside. You don't have to react to everything that presses against you. You don't have to let the world dictate your peace. Because real strength, the kind that lasts, the kind that endures, doesn't come putting on a show. It comes from within. It comes from a heart anchored in truth, a mind renewed by grace, and a soul that's found rest in something greater than itself. There's a story in Scripture about a man who faced more troubles than most of us ever was. He was betrayed, beaten, thrown into prison, and forgotten by those he helped. And yet he didn't lash out. He didn't give in. He acted with dignity and grace. Why? Because he wasn't holding on to the world, he was holding on to something higher. That kind of peace comes when you surrender, not to people, not to pressure, but to God. When you give him your burdens, you no longer have to carry the weight of everyone else's opinion. When you give him your heart, you don't have to react to every insult or injury. You are no longer a puppet to your emotions. You are free. You see, it takes more strength to stay calm than it does to explode. It takes more power to stay silent than it does to shout. The one who can walk through fire and not flinch, that's the person who has learned the secret of surrender. You ever stand by a river and notice how the surface may ripple, but the water beneath is steady and strong? That's what your spirit ought to be. Calm, centered. Anchored. When you're rooted in the truth, you don't have to flinch at every wave. When your heart is deep in love and grounded in grace, the noise on the surface doesn't shake you. Let others panic. Let others shout. You stay still, you stay kind, you stay calm. Because your peace is not shallow, it's deep. It's not based on comfort, it's based on conviction. When you've made up your mind to walk with God, no insult, no delay, no disappointment can pull you off course. The storm does not define the ship. The wind does not define the tree. And the criticism, rejection, or stress you face, they do not define you. Too many people today are reacting to every storm as if it determines their worth. But the truth is, you are not what happens to you. You are not what people say about you. You are not the job you lost, the friend who left, or the moment that went wrong. You are more than your pain. You are more than your past. You are called, chosen, and dearly loved. So act like it. When the storms rage, don't panic. Stand firm. When others throw stones, don't pick them up. Pray instead. When everything in you wants to fight back, choose peace. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs more light. Let your actions speak louder than your enemies. Let your calm confuse the chaos. We often talk about protecting our thoughts, and that's important. But I want to tell you today, guard your spirit. Because the real battle is not just in the mind, it's in the soul. When your spirit is wounded, everything feels heavier. That's why you need to guard it like a treasure. Don't let bitterness take root. Don't let anger lead your steps. Don't let resentment poison your peace. Instead, fill your spirit with gratitude, with forgiveness, with hope, with joy. And when offenses come, and they will let them roll off your back like water on a duck's feathers, you're too anointed to be offended. You're too chosen to be distracted. You don't have to react to everything. You don't have to explain yourself to everyone. Keep your heart clean, your motives pure, and your spirit gentle. There is power in staying calm. There is wisdom in being quiet. There is victory in refusing to let darkness pull you down. There is a great misunderstanding in the world today about what strength really is. Many believe strength is loud. They think it looks like pride or power or having the last word. They believe strength is the ability to control every outcome, to win every argument, to fight every battle. But that kind of strength, though it may shine for a moment, quickly burns out. It's brittle. It cracks under pressure. It depends on people, possessions, and power, all of which can be taken in a moment. True strength, the kind that lasts, the kind that holds steady when everything else falls apart, that strength does not come from striving. It comes from surrender. Not surrender to weakness. Not surrender to defeat. But surrender to the one who holds all things together. Surrender to the one who knows the end from the beginning. Surrender to the one who has never lost a battle, never been shaken by the winds of change, never been caught off guard by the troubles of life. When you surrender your will, your worries, your future, and your reputation into God's hands, something happens inside you. The burden gets lighter. The fear begins to fade. You realize you don't have to prove yourself to anyone. You don't have to chase applause or avoid every mistake. You don't have to manage the opinions of others. You can breathe because your life is no longer your own, it belongs to Him. And in that surrender, you gain a strength that confuses the world. You stop reacting to everything that comes against you. You stop being controlled by emotions or circumstance. You stop fighting battles that don't even belong to you. Instead, you stand still. You stay calm. You move forward with quiet confidence, knowing the one who fights for you is greater than anything that comes against you. Look through the pages of history and you'll find that the most powerful people were not always the loudest, the richest, or what's praised. They were often the quiet ones, the ones who knelt in prayer when the world was on fire, the ones who gave when they had little, the ones who forgave when they were wronged, the ones who trusted God more than they trusted themselves. This kind of strength can't be taught by books or learned through experience alone. It is formed in the secret place. It is born when a soul reaches the end of itself and says, I can't carry this anymore, you take it. And just like that, the weight lifts. The war ends. The peace begins. You surrender is not the end of the fight, it's the beginning of the victory. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. And in that sacred moment of letting go, we discover the strength we were never meant to manufacture, but always meant to receive. Let me know if you'd like me to continue expanding the next section, or if you'd like to adapt this for something else like video, print, or a devotional. There's a calm that doesn't come from silence. It doesn't come from having an easy life or everything going your way. It comes from something deeper, something settled. You can see it in a person who's been through the fire but doesn't smell like smoke. You can hear it in the voice of someone who's walked through storms but never lost their song. That calm isn't shallow. It isn't surface level. It is the evidence of a soul anchored in peace, and it runs deep. Still waters are not empty waters. A lake that is quiet and glass-like may seem soft on the outside, but underneath there's depth. There's power. The surface undisturbed not because there is no force within, but because the force is focused, not flailing. That's the kind of spirit you and I are called to cultivate. A spirit that doesn't need to shout to be heard. A spirit that doesn't need to react to every disruption. A spirit that knows who it belongs to and rests in that truth. We live in a culture that prizes reaction. If someone attacks, we clap back. If something doesn't go our way, we fall apart. We post it, we vent it, we wear it. But stillness, true stillness, is becoming rare. It's rare because it's not natural. It takes maturity to be still. It takes faith to remain calm when everything around you is trying to stir up anxiety. Still waters run deep because they've been carved out by surrender, by trust, by letting go of the need to control. You see, it's easy to be loud when you feel threatened. It's easy to be frantic when you feel exposed. But when you're rooted, when you're grounded in truth, you no longer have to respond to every ripple on the surface. You can let people talk. You can let the waves crash. You can let the wind blow. Because your foundation isn't built on what's happening around you. It's built on what's happening within you. And what's within you must be stronger than what comes against you. That's why the word says, be still and know. Not be still and panic. Not be still and wonder. But be still and know that there is a God above you, a peace within you, and a purpose ahead of you. That knowing settles the soul. It slows the heartbeat. It quiets the mind. Stillness isn't laziness. It isn't indifference. It is quiet power. It is the ability to say, I'm not moved by this, even when everything in you wants to fight, run, or respond. It is strength under control. It is clarity in the chaos. It is the fruit of wisdom, not weakness. Let me know if you'd like the next point expanded as well, or if you're compiling these for a larger project, happy to help however you need. Storms are part of life. They come without warning. They rattle the windows, and sometimes they leave things in pieces. But no matter how loud the thunder, no matter how fierce the winds, the storm is never greater than the vessel it tries to shake, and it never defines what that vessel is made of. We all go through storms. Some come from the outside, unexpected loss, betrayal, financial struggle, illness, rejection. Others come from within, anxiety, shame, doubt, regret. And in the middle of them, it's tempting to believe the storm is telling the truth about us. That if life is falling apart, we must be falling apart. That if we're struggling, we must be weak. That if we're hurting, we must be broken beyond repair. But the storm is not your identity. The storm is not your story. The storm is just a chapter, not the title. It may change your plans, but it does not change your purpose. It may shake your surroundings, but it cannot shake your value. There's a reason ships are built strong, not for calm waters, but for storms. And your life, though it may not feel like it has been designed with that same kind of strength, not a strength you must create on your own, but one that's been placed in you by the one who knew the storms would come long before you ever set sail. You're not defined by what you've had to endure. You're defined by how you keep going. Some people wear their storms like scars that never heal. They let the past name them. They let the pain shape them. But you don't have to live like that. You don't have to let a hard season become a hard identity. You don't have to call yourself by what you've been through. You're not divorced, jobless, abandoned, failure, lost. You are not your trauma. You are not your mistake. You are not what someone did to you. When we go through the fire, it may burn off what we once clung to, false identities, empty pride, shallow strength, but what remains is what truly matters. Your soul, your purpose, your heart made whole again, not because the storm never came, but because it didn't win. There's something powerful about a person who has been through storms and still stands, not bitter, not hardened, but softer, wiser, stronger. Because they've learned the storm doesn't get the last word. It never did. The storm may be loud, but your resilience is louder. The winds may howl, but your spirit remains anchored. You are not defined by the moment of crisis. You are revealed by how you endure it, how you rise again, how you carry peace through the pouring rain. If you'd like the next section expanded as well, or all these compiled into a full-length message or ebook, just say the word. In the busyness of life, it's easy to focus solely on what we think, what we say, and what we do. We pay great attention to our minds, the thoughts we allow to take root, the words we choose to speak, the knowledge we consume. We spend time sharpening our intellect, correcting our mistakes, and protecting our reputation. But there is a deeper part of us that requires even more attention, and that is our spirit. Our spirit is the very core of who we are. It is the part of us that is eternal. The mind may wander, the body may wear out, but the spirit is what remains. And yet far too often we guard our minds, our thoughts, and our outward actions while neglecting the inner wellspring of our lives, our spirit. The spirit is like a garden. It must be cultivated, nurtured, and protected. If we're not careful, it can become overrun with weeds, bitterness, resentment, anger, and fear, all of which will choke out the life and peace that we were meant to experience. To guard your spirit is to protect it from the things that seek to invade it, not just from external circumstances, but from internal pressures as well. It means being intentional about what you allow to take root in your heart. Just as you would protect your mind from harmful influences like negative media, unhealthy relationships, or toxic ideologies, you must also protect your spirit from the poison of unforgiveness, envy, and hatred. Your mind can be filled with noise, but your spirit can still find peace. The world may try to convince you that the key to happiness is in achieving more, having more, proving more. But true joy is found in the quiet place of the spirit, where trust in something greater than yourself anchors you. When your spirit is guarded, your joy cannot be stolen, no matter how much the world shakes around you. It's also important to recognize that the enemy does not always attack us with visible threats. The most damaging attacks often come through subtle thoughts that sow seeds of insecurity, doubt, and worry. The devil knows that if he can get inside your spirit, he doesn't need to worry about the outside. He'll use anything, a comment, a betrayal, a mistake, to disrupt your inner peace and cause you to spiral into fear. And when your spirit is rattled, your mind follows. So how do we guard our spirit? First, we must protect it through daily prayer, meditation, and communion with God. We must allow the words of truth to flood our hearts. We must fill our spirit with goodness, love, and grace. When we feed our spirit with what is pure, lovely, and praiseworthy, we fortify it against the attacks of negativity, doubt, and despair. We must also surround ourselves with people who lift us up, people whose spirits encourage us to keep going, whose words speak life into our situation. Guarding your spirit is not a solo endeavor, it's a collective one. It means being mindful of who and what we allow to influence us, whether it's in conversations, media consumption, or the environments we place ourselves in. Let me know if you'd like to move on to another section or need further adjustments to this one. In a world that's constantly changing, where opinions shift like the wind and emotions fluctuate like the tides, it's easy to get caught up in the patterns of reaction. We often reflect what is around us, the negativity, the anger, the bitterness, the stress. It's as though we're mirrors constantly reflecting back the world's chaos, its injustice, its unrest. But this is not the life we are called to live. We are not called to mirror the world. We are called to shine in the midst of it. The difference between a mirror and a light is profound. A mirror simply reflects whatever is placed in front of it. It doesn't change what it sees, it only shows what it is given. In the same way, when we live as mirrors, we are constantly reacting to the world. We reflect every hurt, every insult, every disappointment. When we live as mirrors, we allow the world to dictate our behavior, our thoughts, and our responses. We let the negativity of others shape our spirit. And while this may seem natural, it leads only to exhaustion and frustration, because we are living not by our own strength, but by the world's constant shifting tides. But when we choose to live as a light, we step into a different reality. A light does not reflect the darkness around it. It illuminates the darkness. A light does not fight with the darkness, it simply shines, and in that shining, it changes everything. It shifts the atmosphere. It transforms the environment. A light brings clarity where there is confusion, warmth where there is cold, and hope where there is despair. To live as a light means to be anchored in something more than the world's opinions and circumstances. It means choosing to walk in peace even when the world is chaotic. It means offering kindness when the world offers bitterness. It means responding with grace when others react with anger. When you live as a light, you are not controlled by the forces around you. You are guided by the strength that is within you, the love, the peace, and the joy that comes from God. This is not to say that you should live in a state of denial, ignoring the struggles and challenges of life. No, the light does not shy away from darkness, it faces it. But the light doesn't let the darkness define it. It shines regardless of the circumstances. It refuses to be dimmed by the negativity that seeks to surround it. When you live as a light, you show others that it is possible to stand firm in love, in truth, and in peace, even when the world is at its loudest. Living as a light is not about being perfect. It is not about having all the answers or being immune to pain. It is about choosing to reflect the character of God in every moment, showing love when hate is present, choosing joy when sorrow threatens, offering peace when conflict arises. The light within you is greater than any darkness around you, and it is that light that can transform lives, heal wounds, and bring hope to even the most hopeless situations. The world is full of mirrors. People reflect what they see, anger for anger, insult for insult, evil for evil. But you weren't made to mirror the world, you were made to light it up. A light doesn't argue with the darkness. It doesn't fight it, it simply shines. And that's what you are charged to do, shine. Be the kind word in the middle of hate. Be the gentle spirit in the midst of rage. Be the calm in the storm. When people see you steady, smiling, unbothered, they'll wonder how you do it. And that's your moment to tell them, your peace doesn't come from circumstances. It comes from something greater. You've learned not just to act unbothered, you've learned to be unbothered because your life is hidden in something eternal. So my friend, the next time life comes at you with a challenge, the next time someone tries to shake your peace, the next time the world feels heavy and loud, choose peace, choose patience, choose grace. Act as if nothing bothers you, not because you're numb, but because you're rooted. Not because you're pretending, but because you found something real, a peace that the world didn't give and the world can't take away. Walk in that peace, live in that confidence, and shine like a light that cannot be dimmed. Amen.